Have you ever virtually staged your Airbnb property? In today's video, I'm gonna show you how I never walked in one time during the staging setup of this beautiful new construction Airbnb that we are launching thanks to my virtual assistants. What's up everybody? My name is George Salas and I am your short-term rental expert. And today I'm gonna show you a clip of an interview with the CEO of Online Jobs, the man with the 36 virtual assistants who work 17 hours a week. And him and I are gonna talk how we both have freed ourselves from the ends of our business, from working in our businesses, thanks to Filipino virtual assistants. So let's jump straight into the interview if you're ready. All right, guys. My name is George Salas, and welcome. I've got a special guest today, my friend Jonas, and I'm going to let you guys hear a little bit about what he does, who he is, and he is the man with the virtual assistant, the entire thing. So I'm going to let my friend Jonas introduce himself and tell you guys what we're here for and what we're doing.
Hey, thanks, George. It's good to be here with you. So I will just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a husband. I'm a father of 5. I'm a disciple of Jesus Christ. I am a mediocre golfer. I'm an entrepreneur. I love the mountains. I ski 3 days a week, or I ride my bike 5 days a week. So I'm active. I don't work all that much. I work about 17 hours a week, and that's because my VAs do almost everything for me. And so just so you know, I currently have, I think 36 full-time people that work for me in the Philippines. And I started that in 2005. So I hired my first VA in 2005. And so this is a full progression. This isn't like, oh, I need to hire a team and I hired 35 people. That's not what happened. Every one of them was hired one at a time. So let me just take a step back for a second. And I'll just go through kind of how I got there. So, I was frustrated. Like, to say the least, I was frustrated. This is 2004. I'm trying to run an online business. And I thought like, oh, if I run an online business, then I can automate everything and it's online and it gets so easy, right?
Right.
And no, like not at all. It's not how it is, right? Like people think, oh, I'm going to do real estate investing because then it's like, oh, once I've bought the place, then I'm done. Like, sweet, I'm done, right? No idea. Not at all, right?
No, they have no idea the entire process. It just takes so much time, a lot of tasks.
Right. And even the lead up to it is so much work. And there's so much that other people can do for you once you have figured out that you can find people. So I had no clue. I had a mentor tell me, make sure you go to the Philippines with it. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And I ended up hiring someone after I had tried India. I had tried Upwork, which was Elance at the time. I had tried hiring people locally. It all just sucked for me. I hired this guy in the Philippines and I hesitated because my only option was to hire someone full-time. That was the only option. There was no other option at the time. And so I hired this guy full-time and it was the most liberating experience of my life. Like his full-time job was to do anything I asked him to do. And if I could teach him how to do it, then he could do it, right? Like he could figure crap out. If I missed an instruction, he would read between the lines. It was like, dude, this is amazing. I had no clue, right? And so that fully changed my perspective on what can get done. So just so you know, I was paying the company that I hired him through $750 a month. They were paying him $250 a month. $250 a month.
Wow.
For a full-time human intelligent person, right? Who speaks English. Now that's not the case today. If you go through a service, it's going to be more like $2,000 a month and they're going to pay them $500 a month, something like that.
So these are companies, right?
What?
So these are companies that are basically agencies that are hiring.
That's exactly what it is. It's an agency, right? Okay. So they have offices in the Philippines. They recruit the Filipinos, they bring them into their office, they mark up their salaries, and then they lease them to you. And that's fine. If that's the route you want to go, that's fine. To me, it was like I'm paying them $750. He's only getting $250. Like that's crappy.
That's more. That's double. Right? That's crazy.
It's more than double, it's triple, right? And okay, fine. Like they provided a service, and at the time there was no other option. That was the whole thing. There was no option. So I had two people working for me because I realized like this is amazing with the first one. So I hired a second person, and like they're busy full time. And I didn't know, like I knew I was busy, but I didn't realize there's so much more you can do when you have someone who's working for you that are doing a good job, right? So then I was like, because I debated at first, I don't think I can keep someone busy full time. Finally, I was like, well, I clearly need a second person. So I go to hire someone else, and the process sucked again. Like I went to the agency, and they were like, oh, well, do you want a webmaster or do you want a programmer? Like, I don't want either of those. I want someone who can write English. Well, do you want a webmaster or a programmer?
Wow.
Well, fine. That's all. Those are the only choices.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, like, fine, I'll take a webmaster, right? So after this, the third time I went to recruit, I was like, this sucks. And I think there's a better way that I could do this. And so at the time I was already teaching people how to do it because I was on this mastermind group. And every single week when we met on a phone call, the whole group just kept asking, how are you doing this? Why are you doing this? How's it working so well? Where are you finding the people? Like constant questions. And finally I was like, I can't keep just saying the same thing over and over again. So I recorded a phone call of me telling everything I knew about hiring people in the Philippines, which wasn't all that much at the time. And I kind of put it out on the internet, and it went crazy. So then people are asking me all the time questions about it. And I'm like, dude, there's not a good way to recruit people. So I just thought maybe I went to go recruit my third person. And I was like, I think I can create some software that'll let the people in the Philippines create a resume. And maybe I could get a couple hundred resumes. Then I could recruit someone myself. Like if I had a couple hundred resumes to choose from, that'd be amazing. Well, I sent this to the people I had working for me at the time after we had built it. So I actually hired another couple people through the agency while I was building the software. And when I got it ready, I asked them, hey, what can you guys do to market this? They're like, oh, I'll tell my friends. Oh, I'll put it on Craigslist. I'll put it on Friendster, which was the social network at the time. Friendster.
I haven't heard about that one in a while.
Yeah, totally. Right. We had a couple hundred profiles of Filipino workers in the first month.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, well, this is amazing because I can hire someone now. And then it just snowballed from there. Like today, onlinejobs.ph has over 1 million Filipino profiles. We've had hundreds of thousands of employers use it. We've provided, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of jobs to people in the Philippines. And I get emails every single day from employers and from workers saying, thank you so much. This changed my life. Like I got a job, but I didn't think I'd ever get a job. Or, hey, I hired this person and it's been amazing. And it's changed my business. And I've just seen like the power of when someone realizes, oh, you can get the help you need and it's affordable and it's really easy to find people. It changes the way they look at their businesses. So that's my story. That's a long my story of how I kind of got to this point.
I know that you, your wife, I've watched it, right? And I've read that your wife was pregnant and then she had some kind of, it's like she was going through something and you had to leave your entire business to them. And you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? I think when I come back, what's going to happen with my business is going to go down or whatnot. And you came back and they were running the whole thing, right?
So this is 2007. I had a couple people working for me.
Okay.
And my wife goes into the doctor's office. She's 7 months pregnant. And he says, you have preeclampsia. And if you don't go on strict bed rest for the next 3 to 5 weeks, you're going to lose this baby and you could die. And I was there with her. I was still going to doctor's appointments for pregnancies with her. And it was a shock. Like, holy crap, I have 2 other kids and I can't work for the next 3 to 5 weeks because she has to be on strict bed rest. And I still have these 2 other kids to take care of. And so that's what happened. I got home and I sent an email to these 2 guys in the Philippines and said, hey, look, here's my situation. I can't work. I need you to take over what I'm doing. And my business wasn't super sophisticated. And also these guys were not newbies with me. I had them working for me for about 18 months.
Okay.
I had trained them. I had worked with them. This was not like, oh, I pulled someone off the streets and all of a sudden they're running my business. I had spent a lot of time building a relationship with these two guys and training them, right? So for the next 3 weeks, I worked 1 hour total. And my wife had the baby 3 weeks later, which amazing, healthy, perfect little girl, right? And for the next 2 months, my wife really struggled after having the baby. And so I kept not working. I worked about an hour a week for the next 2 months. And when I came back to the business, I mean, I had checked on things throughout it, but I just didn't know what was, you walk away for 3 months from your own business. What do you expect? Right?
Yeah, it could get pretty crazy. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's a disaster, right? Well, it wasn't a disaster. They had not only taken care of things, but they had like done thought work. Like up to this point, I just thought they were, not that I thought this, but I just didn't realize that they were capable of doing thinking work. Like they took over my Google AdWords, which I was running. They took over my blog. They weren't writing the content for it yet because I hadn't taught them how to do that, but they were managing the comments and dealing with anything wrong that came in or good stuff. They're replying to people, and they're dealing with the marketing stuff that I was doing with SEO. And like there was all kinds of stuff that I had previously been doing that they just took over. And again, I had trained them on a bunch of stuff, but it was shocking to me. And I learned like, oh my gosh, this is, first of all, these people are way better than I thought they were. This isn't just robots on the other side of the world. Second, this is how you live the 4-hour work week. Like I'm doing it. I'm at the 1-hour work week. I had no idea. Right. And so then from there, I decided to take this, like, how far can I take this? And I started another business and had them build the entire business for me. And I taught them everything about it. And you'll notice a theme in all of this is I taught them, right? And they built the business for me. And within about a year, it was making me $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And they built the business. And they don't, and that's one of the magic things about the Philippines is like, they're not entrepreneurial. They don't want to steal your crap. They don't want to run off with it. They don't want to take your idea and go do it somewhere else. They just want a job.
Right.
And when you get that job, they want to stick with that job. They're super, super loyal. Like, I mean, I didn't know this at the time. They're loyal to a fault.
They're very loyal, man. I'm very surprised.
It's crazy.